like to call this meeting to order.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on December 10th, 2021. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Roll call.
Councilman Albanese. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung. Councilwoman Pontorero. Councilman Halloran.
Yes, here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Menachino.
Here.
Thank you.
Like to take a minute.
Sorry.
That's all right. Like to take a minute to salute the flag and a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second to approve the minutes for the December 28th meeting, please?
Motion?
Second.
Roll call.
It was, hold on, I'm gonna. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Abstain.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes. This brings us to the consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Authorized grant application, Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the submission of a strategic plan for the Brick Municipal Alliance, or BMAC grant, for fiscal year 2023 in the amount of Drug Enforcement and Demand Reduction Grant, $21,773, cash match, $5,443.25, and in-kind match, $16,329.75.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2, please.
Authorized submission of application NJDCA grant for Brick Senior Services.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes a submission to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for costs related to the construction of a new senior center on Aurora Place. The building will serve as a shared facility with EMS. Design plans are underway. Thank you.
Resolution 4-3.
Authorized execution of shared service agreement with Ocean County Prosecutor's Office Move Over Law Enforcement Program.
This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared service agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for the Move Over Law Enforcement Initiative. The law requires motor vehicle operators to reduce their speed and change lanes when approaching authorized vehicles displaying emergency lights. Such vehicles include police, fire, medical service vehicles, and also highway maintenance, tow trucks, and official motorist aid vehicles displaying amber lights. Where possible, drivers are required to move over to create an empty lane next to the emergency vehicle. When safely changing lanes is not possible, drivers must slow down below the posted speed limit prior to passing the emergency vehicles. As part of this agreement, Brick Township agrees to provide manpower when needed to enforcement. The township receives a flat hourly rate reimbursement for police officers assigned to this enforcement. Resolution 4-4.
Authorized execution of a shared service agreement with Ocean County Prosecutor's Office Narcotics Strike Force.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for the Ocean County Narcotics Strike Force. The purpose of the strike force is combating the growing gang element and enforcing firearm and anti-drug laws in the state of New Jersey. The township receives a stipend per officer assigned to the task force who participates for 12 consecutive months. Thank you.
Resolution 4-5.
Authorized receipt of bids seasonal turf chemical application program.
This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for seasonal turf chemical application program. This bid provides for fertilizer and weed control at 15 locations, including township parks, recreational facilities, and the municipal complex, consisting of 70 total acres. It begins in early spring with soil tests at each location to determine the proper application of each. There is an early and late spring application and an early and late fall application. The township has an approximate expenditure of $53,000 during the current two-year contract period, which will expire on March 24, 2022. The current vendor is Meticulous Landscaping, Waretown. Resolution 4-6.
Authorize award of bid roadway surfacing contract Pine Terrace section.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, please.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for roadway resurfacing, which is paving, in the Pine Terrace section to S Brothers of South River. It's in the amount of $408,359.70, and the contract consists of utility trench repairs, milling, paving, minor curbing, and driveway repairs along Smith Drive, Smith Circle, Conifer Road, Eisenhower Drive North, Sudbury Road, and Barclay Drive. Bid notices went out to 74 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 14 of those picked up bid packages. Out of those 14, 7 bids were received, and the prices ranged from the low of the $408,359.70 that I'm asking to be awarded here tonight, all the way up to a high, not much higher, of $642,192, and the remaining 5 bids were between those. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize award of contract through New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program, purchase and delivery of new servers.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of contract for the purchase and delivery of new servers to SHI International Corporation, Somerset, in the amount of $169,939.12. This purchase is being made through the NJ Cooperative Purchasing Program. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-8.
Authorize award of contract major medical coverage Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution authorizes an award of contract to Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield to provide third-party administrative services to the Township of Brick employees and retirees for health insurance coverage at the rate of $61.42 per employee per month plus claim costs. The term of this contract is 1 year. Fairview Insurance Agency, the broker of the record for the Township of Brick for employees and retirees' health benefits insurance coverage, has solicited proposals and recommends the award to Horizon. Thank you.
Resolution 4-9.
Authorize award of contract stop loss coverage Sun Life Assurance.
Council Vice President Crate.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes an award of contract to Sun Life Assurance to provide stop-loss insurance for township employees and retirees at a schedule of rate based on medical coverage. The term of this contract is 1 year. Fairview Insurance Agency, the broker of record for the Township of Brick for employees and retirees stop-loss insurance coverage, has solicited proposals and recommends the awards to Sun Life.
Resolution 4-10.
Authorize award of contract prescription coverage Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund.
Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution authorizes award of contract to Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund to provide the prescription coverage for Township's employees and retirees. The term of this contract is 3 years. The Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund has proposed an average rate reduction of 2.5% for active employees and retirees. Fairview Insurance Agency, the broker of record for the Township of Brick for employees and retirees prescription coverage, has solicited proposals and recommends the award to Central Jersey Health. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-11.
Authorize award of contract vision insurance coverage United Healthcare Insurance.
Council Vice President Crate.
Okay, last one. This resolution authorizes an award of contract to United Healthcare Insurance to provide vision insurance coverage for Township employees and retirees. The term of the contract is for 2 years. United Healthcare new rates reflect 2% decrease from current rates. IMAC Agency, the broker of record for the Township of Brick for employees and retirees, vision insurance coverage, has solicited proposals and recommends the award to United Healthcare. Thanks.
Thank you. Resolution 4-12.
Authorized execution of shared services agreement with Seneca Dunes Homeowners Association beach maintenance.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement with the Seneca Dunes Homeowners Association for beach sweeping maintenance for the 2022 summer season. All costs for manpower and equipment will be paid for by the association, including the manpower, equipment, and diesel fuel for the beach rake. Thank you.
Resolution 413.
413A is a performance bond release for Harbor Yacht Club Marina on Route 35 South in the amount of $13,844.97.
Resolution 414.
14A is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 86.06, Lot 10, in the amount of $647.44. 14B is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 903.27, Lot 8, in the amount of $521.47. 14C is a state tax appeal granted for Block 548.02, Lot 26.02, 140 Drum Point Road, in the amount of $21,543.83, which is a 2-year appeal. 14D is to cancel taxes, balances, and credits of $10 and under for the year 2021.
Thank you. That ends the consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second to end the consent agenda?
Motion?
Second.
Open to council. Hearing none. Closed council. Open to the public for questions on the bill on the resolutions only. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mark Vasquez for 40 Lana Court. On number 7, it talks about new servers, and they're being sent out to Somerset. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And we outsource our servers?
No, these people are providing the service.
Okay,
They're gonna we are purchasing and they're delivering them.
Okay, misunderstood. I thought you were sending
No
them to
problem.
serve Somerset. Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes. Yes.
So I generally don't. I usually presume only. But I have a feeling that you mean me. Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. I have several things that I would like more information on, and I will start by calling your attention to that it says that for the consent agenda, if a discussion is desired, which is what I'm basically asking for now, it should be removed from the consent agenda. So you should have called for this questions first, or provided sufficient information. The first thing I have to say is in regard to 4.3, and it's not a question. It is a comment on the fact that the move-over law enforcement, I'd like somebody somewhere sometime to tell me when you're on Route 88, heading like I do frequently from St. Dominic's Church to Walmart, there isn't even a shoulder to pull over onto if an emergency vehicle. What do you expect to do? There was supposedly, there was a meeting several years ago, a couple at least, about a walkable brick, and nothing came of it. The meeting was in Civic Plaza. Years before, we had gone out in 3 teams, and each team had a different section that they went with somebody from the National Highway Traffic Safety and tried walking. Part of it involved and happened as a result of the 3 deaths that caused the hurricane fence to be put up, which wasn't the proper solution around the Coles Plaza. So I think you really need to start looking at things like that. Where are we going to go when there's that? In fact, there was one night I came out from a function at St. Dominic's, and there was all kinds of cars, because something had happened on this side of Van's Isle, and it must have been a big thing, because that traffic was stopped there for an hour or more. The next thing is, the service that was just mentioned. What are these servants? I'd like more information about the service, what they're for, what do they do, and why is it on here? What are they for? Again, I can
Servers
presume a lot of
servers
things.
store information, data, when we put any kind of information on it. Servers
So this
store it,
is-
and they also send, and they allow communication between parties and other servers.
So this is in reference to information technology, as it was known.
Yeah, servers.
My day
Servers
and
are
age.
like computers.
I know what they are, but I
You just
don't
asked what they are.
necessarily know that that's what these are. And what are the maker of it? What corporation are the servers?
Well, SHI Corporation, International
International
Corporation.
Corporation? The stop loss coverage. I can imagine what that means. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I'm not a mistress of anything. So I'd like to know what more details on the stop loss coverage.
Stop loss coverage, Council President?
Yes,
Yes, okay. Stop loss coverage is part of our health insurance plan, so there is a threshold for an individual claim or a cumulative amount that if you exceed that threshold, the stop loss insurance kicks in.
The stop loss coverage takes over?
Yes.
So it comes out of a different pocketbook,
Or-
so to
yes,
speak.
Correct.
And the amount that it hits the stop loss to turn over to the other?
250,000 for an individual claim.
Thank you. The 4.12, it was said that it is a shared service agreement between Seneca Dunes Homeowner Association and I gather the Township. But it said Seneca Dunes will be paying all of the money. So what's being shared?
The service is provided by the town, and they pay for it.
Oh, so the sharing is that the township will provide the employees, but they'll pay for the cost of doing the work. And I've asked several times, this is not proprietary information on 414. Please put the addresses. Whether you put the block and lot is incidental, put addresses. That's what we know. And for us to search it on a computer, going through block and lot is extremely difficult and time-consuming. Please provide us with information.
Thank you. Mr. Finelli.
Vic Finelli, you already answered two, so we're on a roll. I only have two more. Number two, that's the senior services that's on Adamston Road that's going to be moving?
No, it's the Aurora Place building. So it is the services from Adamston coming over to the Aurora Place location.
Yeah, but it's not built yet.
The building is there. We're going to be doing some reconstruction to modify it to serve as a senior center and also for ambulances.
400's a nice grant.
Yes, it sure is.
Do you own the building on Adamston Road, or what's going to happen with that building if you take?
That's owned by the VFW. We don't own that.
Oh, okay. Down to the last one. Number 10, the prescription plan. This is just to share information with you. When I read that and I saw 2.5% reduction, that's always a nice thing. But are you aware that the prescription plan, at least mine, for Medicare went down 12.5% this year?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, now, it's not a lot of money. It went from 78 to 69, but I'm just curious. I'm assuming that's because big push to get drugs lowered, the cost of drugs and everything. But if they can lower theirs 12.5%, how come you guys only got 2.5%?
It's not a question I can answer. I can't compare the two. I'm not in a position to do that. I can tell you that we work hard to try to reduce our costs, and we have.
You did, but probably not big. You might want to ask that second level question, you know. If the drugs went down that much, 2.5 is nice, but it's not 12.5. The mayor looks so serious. Do you watch the videos when you're not here? Yeah, do you watch the meeting if you're not here? Oh, well, the last meeting when I was here, you weren't here, I gave you an attaboy, so I wanted to give it to you while you're here, right? I talked about...
Fast forward to that.
Did you?
No, I said I will.
No.
Just wanna tell me now.
We talked about flood insurance. And you know, I read about the reduction that you get from FEMA and everything, and I looked on my bill, and there's the 20% right there. And I said, make sure you tell the mayor, attaboy. The other thing, I don't want to come up at the end, because I just want to say, I live way out in the boonies where we don't normally get good snow removal, but I know we got lucky on the first snowstorm. We got on about 4 inches, but they were plowing all the way out in my place early in the afternoon. And the guy saw I was out there by the driveway on my knees praying. So he came down and switched the thing and pushed the snow the other way. So he gets an attaboy too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Minikino.
Yes. This brings us to a public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public? Yes, sir, Mr. Snooper.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Before I read my letter, I have a question that you can answer if you want. If not, you'll get it eventually. When you abstain, what does that really mean?
Well, in my case, it means I wasn't here, so I couldn't say yes or
Okay.
no
But
on the minutes.
yeah, okay, now quorum means you have 4 people that can vote,
Correct.
but you're not voting in that section. Do we have to redo this one section again?
No, no.
No, because it carries over into yours? That's why I was wondering if it carried over. Yeah, that was my whole roundabout point. Okay, now I'll read my letter. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Dear Mayor Ducey, and it's January 4th, 2022. I managed to get the right year in. Council President Vince Manicino, all Brick councilmen and councilwomen, concerned citizens and employees of Brick Township and their taxpayers. What is needed in and around Evergreen Woods condos, Greenbrier, Briar Mills, Brick High School, Lanes Mills School, Town Hall, and Birchwood area of Brick Township are thick brush, shrubs, and trees that were destroyed by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners on or near the Garden State Parkway, and a 14 to 20-foot high wall of preventing noise pollution and giving us safety, which protect all of us and the well-being of all us Brick residents. It is approaching 10 years since this problem first arose, and although the administration has made attempts years ago to get the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners to stop killing our residents, very little has been realized. Every day, citizens fall to lung and heart ailments caused, in part at least, by the toxins flowing off the Garden State Parkway. The administration needs to renew its efforts and, when possible, use legal means to force the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners to repair the damages caused by those same people. The administration did attend some meetings and made inquiries about ways to help our citizens, but it seems like the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners were very uncaring and absolutely uncooperative. We need to save our children now. We need to save our seniors now. We truly need to save all of our citizens, and in fact, save every one of us here in Brick. And the action is needed to be taken now. Thanks for your time. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. I yield back 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and I'm going to start again by calling your attention to what the agenda says this section is. Public comments, not questions. After the deplorable way in which I was treated at the last meeting by that president, saying, "What's your question? What's your question?" I have the right to speak comments, and it shouldn't be limited to 5 minutes. That was something that was inserted when the Republicans were in total control. Before that, the code did not say anything about the number of minutes. And the reason that it was done was to prevent people like me from having full say. So the first thing that I want to call your attention to is that fact. The second is that if you read, or if you paid attention to the oath of office each one of you took when you took on this responsibility that you volunteered for, nobody forced you, you promised to abide by the Constitution of the state of New Jersey, which nobody knew about that when I questioned it back maybe a year ago, less than a year ago, because I haven't been up to coming to them that long, and the Constitution of the United States. That says we, the people, are self-governing, not you. And it says in part of it, with amendments to the Constitution of the state of New Jersey, there is the Open Meetings Act. The Open Meetings Act was explicitly defined a couple of years ago, in fact 2013, by the author of it, then Senator Loretta Weinberg. And she wrote an op-ed letter to the Asbury Park Press stating that we, the people, have a right to know what was in your heads when you vote on something. Now, the entire time that there's been no Republican there was also not one person who didn't vote the way they were told to vote, evidently. You can't just have, with the little bit of conversation that took place, have decided how you were going to vote and that you were all going to vote in the same way, which is part of what is wrong in how you handle the consent agenda. I think I may have mentioned there are, to my knowledge, 3 people, well, there's only 2 here today, but there is a third when you have a full council that is an attorney. And I always understood that the attorneys, particularly in reference to conducting meetings, were well-versed in Robert's Rules of Order. Well, actually in Rules of Order, but in our case, since our code explicitly states that we are to follow Robert's Rules of Order, that they should be voting on these things individually and according to their conscience after supplying us with sufficient information. And I've mentioned that it used to be a caucus meeting in which every item on the agenda was thoroughly discussed, and out of that grew that since we went through it at the caucus meeting without a vote, when we held the public meeting, and you'll note again, I'll call your attention if you don't see it, Brick Township Council caucus/public meeting. Somebody once made a statement to me about this, that it's not a caucus meeting. It's supposed to be. And usually when it is a caucus/public, you handle the caucus part of it, you discuss everything in depth, and then go to the public for the vote. Meaning you go into a public version for the vote because you've thrashed everything else out. You don't thrash anything out. You don't discuss it properly. I think we really need some meetings in which we go over, you go over and for us, and go through the code and see where you're not following it. And we need to have big changes about how meetings are handled, how information is disseminated to the people. Everybody thinks that the people can use computers. I know many people, and they're younger than I am, that don't really even know how to turn a computer on because they don't come with instruction books like they used to when I first started in information technology. And I did it for a livelihood for 30 years and knew about servers. In fact, I had to test them for what was New York Telephone, then 9X, into Bell Atlantic and Verizon. So I think it's disgraceful. You don't respect the people that are supposed to self-govern, and you don't follow the rules or the code.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Seeing none, thank you. This brings us to council comments. Mrs. Bergen?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to the DPW Parks Department for the plowing and salting they did for both storms. The first one, all they had to do was salt. Then we had the second one with the salting, then the plowing, then the salting again before the freeze. And then thanks to all the other employees in town that monitor and things like that for the snowstorms, as well as our call center and our police. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Starkey?
Nothing for me tonight, thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary? Okay. Councilwoman Zapsik?
Thank you, Council President. Since I was unable to be here on New Year's Day for the reorganizational meeting, I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Mayor Ducey on his swearing in. And I had every intention of congratulating Councilwoman DeYoung, Councilwoman Ponterero, and Councilman Albanese tonight, but they're not here, so I will extend my heartfelt congratulations to all three of them when I see them next. And I do want to take the opportunity to wish everyone a happy, healthy new year, and just stay safe. One thing I do want to share, we introduced a resolution and voted on tonight to authorize another year for application for another year of the BMAP grant. And I would like to share with you a little bit about one of the programs that grant funds. On Thursday afternoons, the Brick Police lead an evidence-based mentorship program for youths aged from 5th through 12th grades named TEAM. And that acronym stands for Trust, Educate, Aspire, and Mentor. The purpose of the program is to build a trust relationship between at-risk youth with the local police through this police-led program that focuses on trust and team-building activities, education, community pride, and personal development. The police accomplish this by providing such things as homework assistance, interactive activities, positive information dialogue, and snacks. The program was piloted for 9 weeks at the Maple Leaf Complex, consisted of 6 events, received support from 8 local organizations, and resulted in positive interaction with approximately 40 youth and teenagers in the neighborhood, along with several parents and neighbors. The hope is that the program will continue to grow in popularity, and we'll continue to see the benefits of having a positive, meaningful relationship with this community. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran?
I have nothing other than I hope these people get home safely in the cold. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Vice President Crate?
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Myself, first I want to say thanks for coming out tonight. I know it's cold and it was tough to bear. The next council meeting will be January 25th at 7 p.m. here. Can I get a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Meeting's adjourned.